Listen carefully. One of the biggest signs of mental strength is learning that not everything deserves your reaction. In life, people will test you intentionally and unintentionally. They'll say things that trigger you. Situations will arise that frustrate you, and moments will come where reacting instantly feels natural. But real growth begins the moment you pause. Weak minds react without thinking. They let emotions take control. Anger, ego, frustration, these emotions drive their actions, and most of the time, they regret it later. But strong minds, they operate differently. They observe first. They understand the situation. They give themselves a moment to breathe, to think, and then they choose how to respond. That pause, that small gap between what happens and how you react, that's where your power lies. When you stay calm while others are losing control, you are not being weak, you are being disciplined. You are showing that you are in control of yourself, not your emotions, and that's rare. Anyone can shout back. Anyone can argue. Anyone can react instantly. But not everyone can stay silent, composed, and intentional. This doesn't mean you ignore everything or suppress your feelings. It means you respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. It means you protect your energy instead of wasting it on things that don't matter. Over time, this habit transforms you. You stop getting drained by unnecessary conflicts. You stop being controlled by others' actions. You start living with clarity, not chaos. And one day you'll notice something powerful. Things that once disturbed you no longer have the same effect. That's when you'll realize you're not the same person anymore. You've grown. You've become stronger. There was a time when you needed people around you to feel okay. You needed conversations, attention, validation, something external to fill that space inside you. Silence felt uncomfortable. Being alone felt like something was missing, but now something has changed. You've started to understand that peace isn't something you find in others. It's something you build within yourself. And this realization changes everything. When your happiness depends on people, you give them control over your emotions. If they stay, you feel good. If they leave, you feel empty. If they appreciate you, you feel worthy. If they ignore you, you feel lost. That's not peace, that's dependency. Real peace begins when you learn to enjoy your own company. When you can sit alone, without distractions, without needing constant noise, and still feel complete, that's strength. That's growth. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Loneliness comes from feeling disconnected from yourself, not from others. But when you start understanding yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your purpose, you no longer fear solitude. You begin to use that time to reflect, to grow, to recharge. You become your own source of comfort. And here's the truth. When you stop chasing people to feel okay, the right people start coming into your life naturally. Not because you need them, but because you choose them. That's the difference. You're no longer attached. You're aligned. You're no longer seeking peace outside. You've created it within. And once you reach that point, no one can take it away from you. You don't need approval, not from your friends, not from society, not from anyone. But understanding this takes time. For a long time, you may have shaped your actions based on what others think. You cared about opinions, judgments, and expectations. You wanted to be accepted, appreciated, and recognized, and without realizing it, you gave people the power to define your worth. But here's the truth. As long as you seek validation, you'll never feel enough, because people's opinions are constantly changing. Today they support you, tomorrow they might doubt you. If your self-worth is built on their approval, it will always be unstable. Mental strength begins the moment you stop looking outside for confirmation and start trusting yourself. You know who you are, you know your intentions, you know your journey, and that's enough. When you stop chasing validation, something powerful happens. You become free. Free from overthinking, free from trying to please everyone, free from living a life that isn't truly yours. You start making decisions based on your values, not others' expectations. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never willing to understand you in the first place. And yes, not everyone will like this version of you. Some people may distance themselves. Some may misunderstand you. But that's okay because you're no longer living for them. You're living for yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the stronger you become. Your confidence becomes quieter but deeper. You don't need to prove anything anymore because you already know your worth. This is power, real power, the moment you stop wasting your energy trying to explain yourself to people who don't want to understand. You step into a different level of strength. Not every argument needs to be won. Not every misunderstanding needs to be clarified. Not every person deserves access to your thoughts, your emotions, or your time. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away, quietly, confidently, without drama. In the past, you may have felt the need to prove your point, to make people see your perspective, to defend yourself again and again. But over time, you realize something important: people only understand what they are willing to understand. And no amount of explaining can change that. So instead of draining yourself, you choose peace. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you've given up. It means you value your mental well-being more than unnecessary conflict. It means you've learned that your energy is limited, and you're choosing to spend it wisely. You stop engaging in pointless arguments. You stop reacting to negativity. You stop trying to fix people who don't want to change. And in doing so, you protect something very valuable: your inner peace. Because at the end of the day, peace is more important than being right. Your calm mind is more important than someone else's opinion. And when you truly understand this, your actions change. You become quieter but stronger. You speak less but with more intention. And when something threatens your peace, you don't fight it. You simply walk away.